It's a lovely day, and I am meeting someone from the internet known as the Slow Fox.
Yeah,
This
me.
guy. And it's amazing because you reminded me, I kind of forgot, you've been vlogging for quite some time, but only recently have you started really getting serious about HRT, starting testosterone, and honestly, I kind of forgot, and I thought you were already on T because you're so manly.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and you know what? I really like your mouth. But tell me a little bit about why it's taken you so long. You know, what have you been doing with all this time that you've been thinking about it?
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for like 8 years or something.
8 years.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's longer than
Dang.
I've been on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I've been on YouTube and like really actively thinking about it and talking about it for, I don't know, 4 years or something.
As I've listened to you on YouTube and I've looked at you, I think I've written to you before, and I was almost like, come on, like what's the slowdown here?
Well, yeah, that's the response that I got from a lot of people.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of, I guess I could say, like slowed me down or made the process longer for me than other people is that I hear a lot of people have this experience where they're like little, young, and they know from a young age, they're like, this is who I really am, like I'm a boy.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that. I feel like a part of me that I would call like my real self was kind of like in the dark for kind of my whole life in a way, and that it's just like in the last half a year that I feel like I've been able to access this more real part of myself.
So fascinating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now that I feel like the real self, that gives me way more insight, and I have way more like excitement and confidence about being a guy and going on T.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, how could I know what I really wanted to do if I wasn't even in touch with like my real self?
Yeah. And for me, that's hard to relate to. So when I hear that, I'm like, that's so different. I do not comprehend. But as you talk about it, of course, I start to understand more. But so these are, you and I are two different people coming with these two different stories. Took you time. You weren't connected with your real self. And I was like trying to tell the world, I'm a boy, I'm a man, I'm a boy, like that. That's the background that I came from. But I also stalled. I mean, it took me years to actually start T, and it sounds like for much different reasons. Like you were doing more self-discovery, and I was doing more self-denial, I guess. And the thing that slowed me from starting was that I didn't believe it would work. I didn't believe that I would have any support, and I thought I could potentially ruin my life by starting T and becoming the man that I am. I thought I would just fail. That has not been the case.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes, you and I, we're both successes.
You're looking good.
You're looking good. How are your feelings now? Because you're gonna start soon. But do you identify as a man?
Well, I do. Yeah, I've kind of been coming
You really
into that.
do. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sort of still kind of on the way to that, because in recent months I've identified more with feeling like, or being a boy.
That's fair.
And I feel like I've even done some sort of growing up or like growing into being a man just in recent months.
Yeah.
It's almost like been on fast forward as compared to like a cisgendered boy growing up. So whereas a few months ago I was like, I feel like a boy, but I don't feel like a man. Like now, yeah, I do identify as a man.
That's a very interesting concept in general, because we're adults. We're like young adults, and at the same time, when it comes to gender, and more in your case, sort of pre-T, there is this feeling of still being a boy, and it's like a gender maturity thing that must be different for different people. That whole maturity thing must be different. That's interesting. Were there any catalyst moments, or were there any real like thoughts you had where suddenly something made sense? Like, what were some of the big aha moments?
Well, a lot of my aha moments had to do with interacting with people, like a person or two who really got how I am and got that I'm not female or not a girl, you know, and being recognized by other people in that way who I almost feel like knew me better than I was, or were in touch with myself more than I was, which is weird. So being recognized by other people in that way was really powerful because I really responded to that.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like sex was a huge aha moment for me because, like, if you feel like it, you can make sex like really gendered. Is that how I want to say it? Maybe.
Yeah.
So if you do it, if you're able to figure out how it works best with you or matches your inner self, that's super powerful.
Totally. And I know exactly what you mean.
Well, good.
You know, and it's like I bet you that's true for a lot of people. I really wonder, but I feel like, I know exactly what you mean.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I have other little aha moments now these days, like
so is it like the closer you get to doing it, the more you're like, everything falls into place and you're like, yes, I am on the right path. Like, the more you open yourself up to it, the more you like really feel yourself, then suddenly you like know what you want in this clear way more than before?
Well, yeah. Yes, I would say that, yeah. Because, like, now when I see guys just walking around and I look at their faces or hands or muscles or whatever, I just feel this really intense feeling of, like, that's what I need to be, and that is right for me. I feel that much more strongly than before, so.
Yeah. And I think that's letting yourself do that, you know? It's like you're letting yourself do that.
Yes.
And that's to me part of this transgender experience is there is this time you spend where it's like you kind of know, but you don't let yourself know.
As somebody who's going on T soon, I'm interested to hear if my experience is the same as other people's or not. That's helpful for me. So, like, how did you decide to go on T? Because, you know, you said that you kind of didn't want to do it for a while, but what made you decide?
Well, you know, I knew the possibility was out there, and as long as I didn't know very much about it, as long as in my mind I listened to other people's worries, like, it seems weird, it seems like dangerous, isn't that weird to mess with your hormones, like, could that be a health problem? And I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. And plus, you know, what if my genetics aren't that cool and I look like some like halfling or something? so I had all those were worries that were keeping me back. But by educating myself, like through the internet, you know, watching people's stories, even just watching YouTube videos, I could not deny that it was awesome. Like, the changes I was seeing, I was like, what could be in store for me? I want that. I want that, you know? And what I realized is that you really do, your body really does change, and you really do become the man that you are to be. And so there came a point where it was harder to not start T. It was like I was so ready and so ready and so ready, and you know, there were some things holding me back, like, you know, my girlfriend at the time was really nervous about that, and I was like, well, I don't want to jump into it. So it was only those social pressures that were keeping me back, because I was way ready.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah. And going through the process of changing, really the biggest thing I've had to battle is, like, I want it to go faster. I want the changes to be more dramatic. I thought I would have more of a chiseled face, and, like, I thought my beard would be bigger. Yeah, just my usual complaints. But you know, those are the types of things I experience now. But I have this new ability to really care about myself in a way I never did before. Like, I actually care about how I look. I care about maybe even my health more. Like, I want to do certain things so that I, am healthier and live longer and look good, stuff like that. Whereas before I didn't. I kind of half did it because I didn't want to look good like a girl. Like, I don't want to look like a good girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I would love to feel that way.
Yeah, you're on the right track. You're
Awesome.
gonna be feeling that way soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
You look good.
You look good.